So this is a start of my week, and basically I had a brain fart. For some reason I thought it was the 26th when it was the 27th. Looked at my first assignment and realized that it was being delivered the following day in the afternoon. And then the next assignment showed up on my tablet, and it was another pickup the next morning at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then I deliver it at 4:30 a.m. the following day. So I thought about it. I'm thinking, I'm driving to Phoenix and back basically about 12 hours, and I have to do that in like 3 days. So I was upset. So I called my company up and I started complaining. Hey, give me something else. This is ridiculous. 12 hours of driving in 3 days is ridiculous. I said, it's the 26th. And she's like, today's the 27th. And I go, okay, but still, there's a huge gap. And can you ask the planners if they can change my assignment out? And she said, all right. And I hung up and I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Today's the 27th. So I called up, said, you know what? I did a complete brain fart. My bad. Can you please leave the assignments alone? If you haven't already told the planners, just make sure that they don't change anything. I'll do everything. And she was like, okay. And she said she already told the planners, but she'll make sure that I can continue with the work that was assigned to me. So I hung up the phone. I looked over my assignments again, and I realized the first delivery was in like 5 hours. And I wanted to start driving actually Monday night, the night before, so I could get a head start. And for some reason, I thought the load wasn't ready yet. And so I thought I had to wait until the next morning to be able to get on the road. I don't know why I thought it was the 26th when it was the 27th. And I don't make mistakes like this. I think it all came down to, because what happened was that I ended up getting a new phone, because after a week of constant disconnections with Verizon, and I tried everything to fix it, it wouldn't fix. And then I changed my SIM card and it still wouldn't fix. And then they ended up giving me like an $800 credit. They're having some kind of promotion. So they gave me an $800 credit to turn in my old phone in. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll upgrade. It's not going to be a huge difference on my bill. So I went ahead and got a new phone. But when you get a new phone, you got to transfer all your old stuff to the new phone. And, they make it sound like, oh, it's going to take like 30 minutes or something. It takes hours. You have to go into every account, make sure everything's synced, all the passwords are synced, your fingerprinting is working, and it's a pain in the butt. And I did not want to go through that. I went through it, and then by the time I finished, it was late Monday night. So what a pain. And I was stressed out from that. And that's when I saw my assignment and made the mistake of thinking that it was the following day when it was the actual first day that I needed to deliver. And I had no problems delivering it on time if, I just paid attention. So just to let you know, double check everything. Double check everything. I double check everything, but still, I don't make mistakes like this, but it happens to everybody, I think. That's how I'm starting off my week. So luckily they changed the appointment time for me and things worked out. They still received my load. Gotta be on your A game, and you gotta make sure you're on your toes, really. The things that you take for granted, you can't take for granted. You gotta double check everything. Eliminating fear gradually over time and exposing yourself to a lot of different things and gaining understanding. So the more you're comfortable knowing what's going on, the less likely you make mistakes. And I think there obviously is a fear of pain and death in life. There's also the fear of the unknown, fear of not knowing, fear of having a misstep. And a lot of people out there basically live life avoiding situations they're not comfortable with and not taking a chance on something that could potentially either harm them or put them in a situation that's awkward or, could lead to death. There's people that have no desire to skydive or go scuba diving or join the rich people and go to outer space. I don't know. In life, we take chances and we learn, or we say no and we concentrate our energy on other things. And I think there's a healthy approach to life where we're eliminating fear and gaining understanding. But then there's also a prudence, and also there could be a lot of wisdom in concentrating on a handful of things that we're comfortable with, understanding what other things are about, but not having to experience those or basically let other people tell you what it's about. So you get the head knowledge, but you don't have to be out there doing things. I think when it comes to truck driving, initially you won't know that many things, but over time, layer by layer, you'll peel away. And some things come quickly with time, with basic understanding in your head, and other things will take a long time. You just have to go through situations where you really know what's going on. So there's many approaches to life, many ways you can address how we're supposed to go about doing things. And like I said, one is through your actual physical experience, and another is through your understanding of other people's experiences and learning things. Now, day 2, I had a situation where they gave me a pickup at a location. When I got there, they said, that load's already been picked up. I don't know what happened with the system, but I got double booked. I got another message saying that I had a bad trailer, so I had to turn my trailer into the operating center. So I said, okay. Called in my company and said, my load's already been picked up. I have to take care of this trailer. So I went to drop off the trailer. They gave me a new assignment. I went back to the same location to pick up a new load, but this load was at 1:30. And I was initially there at 7 a.m. I had a lot of sitting around to do. And when it came time to load me, for some reason, the people that were loading the trucks decided to load the guys that came after me first. And I started running out of time. So I kind of kindly went up to the window and told them, hey, I'm running out of time. Anyway, long story short, I got out of there and I barely made it back to Ontario. Shut down. Day 3, I'm supposed to deliver that load that I picked up. I have an 8:30 appointment. I get to the warehouse by 7:50. You know, I'm early by 40 minutes. But anyway, I get to the warehouse and they tell me, your appointment was at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not making this up. Like every single pickup and delivery, every single load has an issue, like timing issue. I mean, the first one was my mistake. But the next 2, or I guess 3, because they removed one load and gave me another load. Yeah, so every load is having some kind of a mistake, whether it's a timing issue or just a miscommunication, double booking. I don't know. And one of them was just me misreading my assignment, my workflow. You know, that was my bad. But the next 3, I don't know what's going on with the communication with the company and the warehouses. I'm having to adjust every single load, be flexible every single load. And the load for the 3rd day, they ended up taking me, but they had me parked and sitting in the holding area until they can get to me. But they basically told me I was 4 hours late. My workflow, my assignment, and my tablet said I was early. Actually, I was on time. I mean, these things happen. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, just have to be polite and talk to them, you know, nicely, and usually they accommodate you. I know a lot of people, they don't want to put in that extra effort and they just end up leaving, saying, oh, okay, no appointment, I'm out of here, you know, and they just leave. Anyway, yeah, I thought I was getting some stupid drama this week, but gotta top it off with a flat on my 3rd day here. And yeah, the retread on this tire basically peeled off and then went into my landing gear. I heard a rumbling noise while I drove, and I didn't hear a pop or anything. I just heard like boop, 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 boop. And then so I pulled over to the rest stop here. This is the damage that the retread did. I called tire services. They should be coming out soon. And luckily for me, Schneider provides Goodyear tire services. So hopefully they come out here soon and we can fix this mess. Yep, one delay after another this week. Look at that. That's tire number 10. So the front left tire being 1, and then you just count left to right and go backwards. And this is tire number 10 here on my right side, back outer tractor tire. Yeah, it's been a bumpy week to say the least. This trailer was missing a license plate, go figure. So had to write down the license plate number on a piece of paper and tape it to the back door. The OSR at our company, the safety guy, he went ahead and told me to go ahead and write down the license plate number and tape it to the back door, because the whole license plate holder, which is usually like right under the bumper, was missing. So I went ahead and wrote that down, taped it to the back of the door. I had a valid registration in the front of the trailer, so he told me that I was legal. One thing after another, and you really have to be vigilant and make sure that everything is going smoothly, you know, dotting your I's and crossing your T's here. So I hope my next 3 loads to end the week go smoothly without any issues or drama. So life of a driver. What's going on, my people? This week was a bumpy week, to say the least. The all in all, not bad. It was about 2,100 miles, 2121 I think was a total. Even though the week started off really bumpy, it ended up being a good week with decent miles and got to end on a Saturday. So all in all, a good finish. Just wanted to recap real quick and say thank you for following me on this journey, and God bless all of you. Stay safe out there if you're a driver. Peace, and until next time, cheers.